What if the biggest factor determining your future isn't your talent, your resources, or even your circumstances, but the attitude you choose before battle begins? Think about it. Two people can face the same exact obstacle, same setback, same disappointment, same criticism. Yet one grows stronger while the other gives up. One finds opportunity while the other one sees obstacles. One becomes bitter, the other one becomes better. So what changed? The situation didn't, but their attitude did. So today we are going to talk about why your attitude often determines the direction of your life before your circumstances do. This is the double-edged factor where high performance meets peace of mind and faith meets focus. I am your host, Manuel, and peace and blessings unto you. Before we get going, be sure to like, follow, and hit that subscribe button because the more positive interactions you put out there, the more they push this podcast to more people who have never heard it before, which of course will allow us to grow, reach new ears, and have a greater impact on more people around the world. And if you want to live and perform at your highest level, head on over to rodmanuel.com. That's RODMANUEL.com. Join that email list and remember to like, follow, and subscribe. You know, most people think attitude is simply whether you're positive or negative. Well, it's a little much more deeper than that. Your attitude is the lens through which you interpret every experience. Before you've solved the problem, before you've made a decision, before you've spoken a word, your attitude is already influencing what you notice, how you think, and what you believe is possible. That's why attitude is one of the earliest decisions you can make each day, and the decision shapes everyone that follows. One thing I've learned in leadership is this. Attitudes can become contagious. If the leader walks into the room defeated, the team feels it. If the leader walks in the room calm during chaos, people feel that too. You see, the attitude of a leader often becomes the atmosphere of the team. People don't just listen to your words, they study your responses. When adversity shows up, your team isn't asking, do we have a problem? They already know that. They're asking, how is our leader going to respond? That's why attitude is a leadership skill, not just a personality trait. Now imagine two managers receive the same bad news. Something like sales are down and upper leadership is applying pressure. One of them says, man, you know what? This is impossible. Nothing is ever going to go right. The other one says, you know what? This isn't what we wanted, but let's figure out a way to what's driving this. Same report, same numbers, different attitude. Guess which team is more likely to stay engaged? Guess which team is more likely to innovate? And also guess which team or which leader earns their trust? See, the attitude doesn't erase reality. It just influences how you respond to that reality. Think about how your attitude shapes your questions. See, negative attitudes ask, why me? Who's to blame? What's the point? While constructive attitudes ask, wait, what can I learn? What's still within my control? What's the best, or the next right step? The quality of your attitude changes the quality of the questions, and the quality of your questions determines the quality of the decisions. I want to talk a little bit about the cost of a poor attitude. Your attitude doesn't just affect you. It affects everyone around you. It weakens teams, it damages marriages, it creates unnecessary conflict. It turns feedback into personal attacks. It makes every inconvenience feel like a crisis. And you know what? People will eventually stop responding to the problem. They just start responding to your attitude. Okay, one of the examples I want to share today comes from Caleb. You see, 12 spies entered the promised land, and all 12 saw the same cities, same giants, same challenges. And all their facts were identical, but their attitudes were different. See, 10 of them, they focused on the obstacles. Caleb focused on the opportunity. He didn't deny the difficulty. He just simply refused to let the difficulty become the final conclusion. And that, my friends, that's practical wisdom. High performers, high performers, they acknowledge problems without surrendering to them. And you see, faith didn't cause Caleb to say, ignore the reality. It just gave him the confidence to believe reality wasn't the end of the story. Faith is not It's not pretending challenges don't exist. Faith is choosing not to let those challenges dictate your identity or your effort. You have to know, or you don't have to know, exactly how everything will work out. You just got to believe that there's still work worth doing today, and that's where the faith and the focus meet. Focus might ask, "What's my next step?" While faith gives you the courage to take it. Some of the highest performers I've met aren't always the most gifted. They're often the most disciplined with their mindset. They don't pretend everything is fine. They simply refuse to let temporary setbacks become permanent identities. Because if they lose, they'll adjust, they'll learn, they'll move forward. And that's all about attitude. It's not blind optimism. It's just an intentional perspective. Also, a winning attitude is built through habits. You see, you got to pause before you react. Watch the words before you speak. Protect. Protect what you allow into your mind. Spend time with the people who challenge you to grow. I'd also say start every morning with an intention instead of a reaction. Your attitude isn't found. It's developed one decision at a time. I want you to ask yourself, how do I typically respond when life doesn't go according to plan? Do I immediately complain? Do I look for someone else to blame? Or do I begin looking for solutions? Your honest answer there reveals more about your future than your current circumstances. So, this week, this is what I'd like you to do. Pay attention to your first response when something doesn't go your way. Not the second response, but the first one. Because that's where your attitude reveals itself. When the unexpected happens, you can ask yourself, what opportunity still exists? What lesson can I learn? What's one predictive action I can take right now? And remember this, your attitude, your attitude won't control every circumstance, but it will influence every decision you make inside that circumstance. And over time, those decisions shape your future. So I say choose an attitude that moves you forward, not the one that keeps you standing still. And with that, I'm going to leave you with today's double-edged message. Your attitude. Your attitude is the lens through which you interpret every challenge. And while it cannot control every circumstance, it profoundly influences the decisions you make within those circumstances. By choosing a mindset focused on growth, solutions, and intentional action, you position yourself to lead more effectively, perform at a higher level, and navigate adversity with greater confidence and greater peace. That is it for today, my friends. If this episode added value, clarity, or even one push you needed, leave a comment and share it. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. The only way we grow this podcast is when you guys share it. The more you share, the greater impact we can have on more people around the world. And if you want to live and perform at your highest level, head on over to rodmanuel.com. That's RODMANUEL.com, where you will find resources, coaching tools, and more to help you live, lead, and perform at your highest level. You can also order a copy of my latest book, Faith on Demand, which is also available on Amazon, as well as other exclusive content. And like I always say, be intentional with your words, be intentional with your thoughts, and be intentional with your actions. And always find a way to be a blessing to someone else today.